and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. My name is Katie and this is Something by Katie. And today's video is, I don't know, I'm just feeling a little different. Thought I would light a candle. This is today's candle of the day. Or maybe it's the candle of the times. I'll just put that right back there. I'm engaged and I wasn't expecting it and I'm so happy about it. So today I thought I would get ready while I'm drinking my coffee, and I'm going to use my Blush Crush eyeshadow palette from Colourpop because it was also a gift that I got this past weekend. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little story time about how my now fiance Blake asked me to marry him. It's crazy. So I'm gonna get ready, and if that's something you would like to hear about, just keep watching. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to use my Blush Crush eyeshadow palette because it was a gift. I got like a fun little goodie bag, and I'll insert photos and videos over this video while I'm talking the whole time probably. So I got this palette and I'm going to be using that. Excuse me. And I got a couple of Jelly Much eyeshadows. I'm going to use one of them and just use some Colourpop products. And I also got one of the lip oils. So anyway, let's get started. Otherwise, I'm just using favorites. I don't really want to talk about the makeup too much. I'm just so excited about the engagement story. I will list every makeup product I use down in the description box if you're curious. But anyway, I'm engaged. Like I said, was not expecting it, like, at all. So in retrospect, let me back up a little. I'm so happy that I filmed and edited that little birthday vlog, link in the eye and down in the description box below. Because if you would like to see where we got engaged, watch that video. I'll insert some clips in here, but if you watch that full video, you can get a sense for like where we were better. Blake and I and Winnie, our puppy, every Saturday we typically go for a walk. When the weather's nice, we'll go get coffee and donuts, and then we'll walk. We'll oftentimes pack like a beach towel to sit on, or a blanket, just whatever we have. And yeah, we'll get our coffee and donuts and walk over to the lake. We live in downtown Chicago and we live very close to Lake Michigan. So that's what we like to do on Saturday mornings. And so I just wasn't suspicious. Blake proposed to me on like the walk, or once we sat down in our spot. But it was great. So starting from the beginning, we woke up last Saturday morning. We had plans to go for the walk. Like, so Blake's work schedule is slightly unconventional. He is a writer, so he doesn't work like regular hours. His shifts are sometimes, and by sometimes I mean his shifts are always at night. So I was under the impression, please hold. I was under the impression that we were going for like a nice long walk because Blake was like, he was really dreading work. Or so I thought. And he kept being like, oh, let's just go for this walk. I need to get out. Otherwise, I'll be in the apartment all weekend, which like always sucks to like not get out and do stuff. You know how that goes. And yeah, so I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's go for a walk. And as we know, my birthday was recently. I had my birthday recently, and I got some very nice gifts, and one of those nice gifts was a coat from my future sister-in-law, and I loved it and I wanted to wear it. So I was like, hey, this sounds silly, but it is what it is. I wanted to get a picture wearing that coat with the fall leaves in the park. So I wore it and I was like, Blake, will you take a picture of me for Instagram? He was of course like, sure. But the weird part where I should have been suspicious was when Blake goes, are you sure you want to wear leggings with that? Bro, first of all, he never cares what I wear. It was funny, and I just ended up wearing like nicer leggings. Like I wore leggings that were leather, and I'm glad I did. Blake was right. I'm glad I wore them because for the pictures, I just liked the outfit I wore. But anyway, that's a side note. Blake also dressed up, and that should have been another red flag, you know? Like, this guy never dresses up. I should have known. Not only is he dressing up, he's giving me fashion advice. But I didn't think anything of it because that's how convinced I was. Or not like actively convinced, but that's how like unsuspicious I was. I had no clue. But we went to get our donuts. He and Winnie were waiting outside. I was inside for maybe 5 minutes, and I see Blake outside like, hurry up. And I'm like, what is the rush, dude? But it had just been raining a little, like sprinkling. So I assumed that's why he wanted me to hurry. Not that there was like a whole itinerary and people were waiting for me. But that does bring up a point that as we walked out of the building to go get the coffee and donuts, it started sprinkling. And I was like, I need to go back up and change my jacket because this brand new jacket I don't want to wear in the rain. And I don't really think Blake wanted that because we were trying to stick to a schedule that he had set, and I didn't know that. But he checked the weather, and fortunately it was stopping raining and all was well, so we just kept going. And it was just funny, like the little things I can connect the dots on in retrospect, like the fact that Blake was walking so fast from the donuts to the lake. Like he was walking so fast. I told him that, like I noticed that now, and he's like, he didn't even realize how fast he was walking, but he was walking so fast I had to tell him to slow down 3 different times because I was like, I'm like breaking a sweat. Why are we in a rush? It's like our regular Saturday morning. Like normally we're just like walking slow, just taking our time, just enjoying ourselves. And so I was like, Blake, chill out. At that point I was like, okay, maybe he's just really hungry, because I was really hungry. I don't know, I just didn't even think anything of it, but retrospectively he was nervous. Not that I would say yes or no, but he was nervous about the logistics, which makes complete sense. Which, like, I would be too if I were him. Just saying. Yeah, so we were walking, and he was walking very fast, and I was like, please slow down. But anyway, we got there, we got to the lake, and as a side note, our puppy is such a puppy. She's so stubborn and difficult a lot of the time. But on Saturday, angel. So like, she went to the bathroom before we sat down on the grass in front of the lake. So that was very lucky that she was cooperative, and thank goodness. But so that was that, and then we walked. Winnie did her business. We went and we sat in our spot, like right in front of the shed aquarium. I can insert video clips so you can get a sense of where. And we just love it. We live like a 10-minute walk from the lake. Like if you're going at that brisk pace that Blake was, it's 10 minutes from the door of our apartment unit to this spot we really like. So we live close and we go often. Like during the summer when it was very, very nice, we would go at like most days, honestly. Or I like not together necessarily, but like one of us would walk every day, probably, or every other day. Excuse me. And so yeah, it was very normal, and we always go to that same spot. We have like a couple versions of that walk, but that's like our shorter version. And like we sat at our spot and we just like we sat down, and Blake turns to me and he really wasted no time, and I think it makes complete sense. He was nervous. And also I had like, as we sat down, I gave Winnie a treat, and I think he was like, okay, this is my moment. Winnie's distracted. He needed to get it over with for his own sake. And he just looks at me, and it was so natural. He doesn't really remember saying this, but I vividly remember it. It was very well said. Like, it's almost like he's a writer. He just like looked at the city, looked at me, looked at our dog, and was like, I want to do this forever. And I was like, Blake, that's our plan. And he pulled out a ring box, and was like, no, I mean, I want to do this every day forever. Will you marry me? And I was like, ah! You can see my face in these photos, but I really was so shocked, and I was like, yes, duh. Oh, it was amazing, and like just completely caught me off guard. It just caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. I like don't know how else to explain it. He really had me convinced. Like I can go back and tell you all the things now. But anyway, so he asked, and then the surprises kicked in. There was a photographer. That's all these beautiful photos you're seeing. Like, oh, she captured it. Gorgeous. She was amazing. Family friend of theirs. Her name's Maya. I'll put her Instagram below if you're in Chicago and need a photographer. She's great. And so we took a few photos in front of the skyline, in front of the lake. Very pretty. And Blake was like, okay, let's go back to the apartment and call people. And I was, of course, like, okay. Like, I was just so, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I was outside. It was an out-of-body experience. Like, when people say that, they aren't kidding. It really was. I didn't know how to feel or think. But I was like, yeah, let's go call people. So we walked. As a total side note, it's really kind of funny in retrospect, but I never got to eat my donuts that we got that day, and I spilled coffee on my jacket. That new jacket. I'm taking it to the dry clean. I've taken it to the dry cleaners, so that's obviously my solution. But anyway, highlight now. Yeah. It was really fun, and so we were headed back to our apartment. Oh, in the meantime, though, we were like, right after we got engaged, people were cheering, and I thought it was our family. I was like, is that our people? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was like so relieved. Like when I realized it was just us, that was like awesome. Like to have that as a private moment, that's just very us. We're not like, I don't know. It just was very us to. Okay, take two. The shot might look slightly different because my camera cut off at this part in me telling the story. So I look a little different, and it'll cut back to me doing my eyeshadow. But this is like an important part. So back to the story. We were, I was just like I was saying before it so rudely interrupted me, I was just so happy to have that moment be private between me and Blake and the photographer in the distance. But it's just very us. We're not into crowds, and I don't know, it was just us, and it was perfect. It's like he knows me or something. And then we were walking back to the apartment, and to do that you have to walk through the park, and I saw a tent, and I looked at Blake and I was like, is that for family? And then as we walked closer, I was like, is my sister here? And Blake looked at me and he was like, you're gonna have to look and see. And I got just so emotional. It was funny because I didn't cry when Blake asked me. I was just so happy, but I cried when I hugged my sister. I just feel like that's such a sister thing. Like, I always am fine, and then I get emotional when I'm hugging my sister, and it was so special to have like the moment be private, but then be able to celebrate with our families, because we are just such family people. To have my parents and my sister there, it was amazing. And then I have a funny story. Unfortunately, my nephews weren't able to be there because one of my nephews had a tonsillectomy that week. I don't even know if I pronounced that correctly. I'll put whatever. Anyway, he wasn't able to come, and I have a funny little anecdote about that in a second. But my family was here, and then Blake's family was here, and it was his parents and his sister as well, and his aunt, uncle, and his 2 cousins and their families. So they are the most important people to us, and it was everything to have them there. It was so special, and Blake made it perfect. And it's also, as a side note, I think it's so funny. You'll have seen the video over this, but it's funny to me that when we got to our families, I hugged Blake's mom and Blake hugged my mom. I don't know why, but I thought that was really like we didn't even remember it, but we were watching videos back and we're like, oh, I don't know. That's really, I don't know. We just feel so fortunate and privileged. Like, we just love each other's families so much, and that is such a blessing. And anyway, continuing on in the story, we got there and the tent was set up, and everybody is just the best in our families. Like, everybody's the best. We had gifts, and there was so much champagne and desserts and pizza and all this stuff. And of course, I just had a bottle of champagne. I was like so happy. And we were taking pictures, and we got to take family photos. And also, it's very bizarre to do this in the time of Corona, but Blake's mom got really cute face masks that said "From KU to I Do," because Blake and I met at the University of Kansas in college. And yeah, so everybody was wearing face masks. We only took them off for photos, and otherwise, I'm not gonna lie, I was drinking champagne, so I didn't really have a mask on, but everybody else did. And because Blake and I were taking pictures with everyone, and anyway, but it was just nice that even though we're in such a difficult time, Blake is amazing and was able to find a way to safely gather with our most important people. And I just love him so much, and our families, and it just was amazing. So, okay, also that side note about my nephew, I really had no suspicions, but earlier in the week, I was saying my nephew had surgery and he was on pain medicine, so he was a little loopy, and he almost texted me, apparently, according to my sister. He almost texted me like, I really wish I could come visit you. I am sorry I won't be there this weekend. My doctor says I can't come. And my sister saw it before he sent somehow, and she was like, you better delete that right now. So that was hilarious. Like, he just instead just sent me a text in our family group chat and was like, I wish I could come see you, or I forget exactly what he said, but that's so funny in retrospect. And also, like, all these dots I'm able to connect backwards. Like, Blake really had me thinking he was playing golf all the time, but really he was going to the jewelry designer, which I cannot. How is this mine? I can't get over it. Also, why am I holding this lip liner? I can't get over it. But anyway, we had so much fun, and then in the park just celebrating with our families and being together and having, I said this to my therapist the other day, that like, I think that I needed that day. I needed Saturday so freaking bad, because every day this year has felt like Groundhog's Day. Like, I already worked from home before coronavirus, but especially since then, the inability to really spend time with family in the way that I'm used to, like, has been a struggle. And so just having a day that completely broke the monotony of this year in like the most joyful, love-filled way was so necessary, and Blake created and planned the perfect experience and day for all of us, and he's just the absolute best, and I'm so excited to marry him. And it was the best. Anyway, back to doing my eyeshadow. I don't know where I got cut off. Yeah, he really got me. I didn't expect this. I was working off, I just can't even, guys, I'm still speechless. But it's so exciting, and I love this guy. He's the best. And he, like, okay, what guy? He thought of details that would mitigate my anxieties, like the fact that the actual proposal was just the two of us. He made it so that everyone felt they were included and had a part. Like, decorations were split up, and favors, and like, it wasn't just one person, it was everybody. Those are things that would make me anxious. Like, I want everyone to feel like included and like they're a part of things, and he made that like a priority, and he's just the best. Yes, I feel like I'm forgetting stuff now that I'm sitting here. We stayed in the park for quite a while celebrating. Blake and I came back up to our apartment eventually, and we called a lot of people, a lot of friends, it was just fun, drank a lot of champagne. It was just such a great day, and Blake ended up, obviously, he took the day off work and the next day. So we were able to just like savor the moment, and we weren't like pressured to just like get on with our lives, if that makes sense. Like, Blake didn't have to work that night. Like, we could just chill and be engaged. I don't know how to explain it. It's so weird and surreal feeling. I am just so happy, and I can't wait. I don't know, I just can't believe that I'm engaged. Like, I never saw this. Like, I saw it coming the last few years, because I obviously, like, I knew I wanted to marry Blake, and we've talked about it before, but like, when I was younger, my mom owned a bridal shop for like 10 years, and I was pretty convinced I was never going to get married. Like, I just didn't, I don't know what it was, but I had a need to be contrarian, and I didn't want to get married for whatever reason. But when I met Blake, it's like, I was like, oh, I get it. I get why people want to get married now. Like, I see why I'm going to do that with him. one day. And here we are, 6.5 years later. I just can't get over it. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm just a very lucky, fortunate individual, so privileged. I can't even express how grateful I am. And for me, I know this is easy to say because I'm in the position I'm in, but it's not even like the ring. Frickin' gorgeous. Frickin' gorgeous. Okay? But that's not what it's about. For me, it was about like him, what he said. I do want to do that every day of my life forever with him. Like, I want to be with Blake, and like it's about that and our families, and this is like the biggest bonus ever. I don't even know how to express how like perfect this ring is. He's did a great job. Okay, he did a great job. All right, I use a Jelly Much eyeshadow. I can't just wear pink eyeshadow, like I have to wear the green. Okay. What else in retrospect should I put together? I just feel bad because I honestly was talking crap like a month ago to his sister, being like, bro does not have a plan. These are the rings I like in case you need to make this happen. I'm just kidding, but I know that sounds bad and I keep saying it, but it's the truth. And it's funny. She fooled me too. So did my mom, so did my sister, everybody. I was the only one not in on this. It's funny how that goes. This coming weekend, we're gonna go back to Indiana so I can see my grandma, some other family on my side. We're gonna have a very small backyard, socially distanced, face masks worn engagement party in the backyard of my parents. And we'll be in the backyard and all is well. That's the weird thing. Navigating all of this during COVID is weird, but it is what it is. And that's life. That's like, I don't know, the symbolism. I'm gonna be doing all this hard shit with Blake forever, so might as well start now. You know? Oh, one other little anecdote. Winnie was an almost perfect dog on Saturday. She did run away at one point. There was another dog at the park and she was on a leash and she just escaped. Ran to that other dog and we're like, oh my God, of course. Of course, Winnie couldn't just chill. But otherwise, she really was good and she posed in the pictures, which is wild. God, I just can't get over it. I can't. There's so much to figure out and so much to do now. But trying not to rush, like I said. Trying to just enjoy being engaged. Because it's not like we can rush and have a wedding next year. Well, I mean, at least we don't, that's our perspective for coronavirus. We're not rushing. Oh, wow. It just feels so good to feel good. It's, I don't know, it's just been such a shitty year and I'm just so happy now. I just have to say that. I'm just so happy and I feel really fortunate to be so happy. I don't really know what type of stuff wedding related I will film, but we'll see. But I just wanted to, for my memories, I wanted to film a little story time and share the story of our engagement. Right now I'm doing a little mascara and lips are all that's left. But if you have any questions, leave questions in the comments, and I'm sure I forgot and left stuff out. Last up is this lip oil, which I'm really loving. Anyway, like I said, let me know if you have any questions, but that was how my now fiance asked me to marry him. This good girl was there. Yes, yes. Oh, are you so happy? I'm happy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.